Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing today? Great to have you to this wonderful show for today. How's everyone doing?
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. How are you doing, sir?
No, I'm doing well, thank you, Dr. Msoma. Man, what's going on with you? You good?
I am well. Started the day off very well. And I actually picked up breakfast, so I'm rich.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir. So, yeah.
Mr. Henry, how's New York?
New York is good. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, viewers. This is Henry Sakala from New York.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. And thanks also to our viewers who are watching us today. We have a very interesting theme that we're gonna dive into. I guess for now we can just maybe go into community news. On our end here in the DMV, we'll be having Independence this month on 21st of October on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most interesting thing about our Independence this year is that we try to bring in kids, so it's gonna be more like a fun fair at a winery. So it's gonna be so excited, it's so exciting. Nothing at my now Mr. Henry on a jacket, we are train you somewhere and have fun and so on and so forth. So Pastor Henry, shall I chime in on that?
Phiri Anabwela.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think this will be very interesting in that families, at least unlike the usual ones that we have where parents come to attend the event, but for this one I think all families, children inclusive, we want to see people's children. We're tired of seeing just the husband and wife.
That's the point.
This time we want to see the entire family and say, hey, come here, let's put it all together. Let's put it all together.
That's the idea. Mr. Henry, what's going on in New York? About your independence?
They are preparing, and it's gonna take place in New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Is it on the 21st or what? I forgot the date, but the flyer is out. The Zambian family of the Tri-State Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey are already in gear. It's all inclusive, kids, big ones. We are trying to bring up the community of young ones because they are the future for tomorrow. So it's going to be there, and it's going to take place in New Jersey. Winnie, she's one of the managers in New Jersey, and she's on it. They're already preparing. So if you don't have one in your state, please travel to New York. We'll give you the New York welcome. Of course, with a big sandwich.
No, come to DMV. Dr. Msoma, anything happening in your community? Yeah, you guys have independence?
Ubuntu walipoka.
Zambia.
October 21st from the Dallas Metroplex at 6 p.m. in Carlton, we will be celebrating our beloved homeland.
Amazing. All right. So the part of the news is all independence, which I believe is on the 28th, right?
Correct, sir. It's well packaged. It's not on the 28th. We start on Friday, the 27th.
Okay.
And the main event on Friday, the 27th, will be just welcoming people to meet and greet, know each other, interact, exchange your business numbers, tell us what you do while we are interacting, promoting each other. Then on 27th, that's when we have the main event. Wow. And on the 29th, we have a farewell barbecue. Free for all. Just bring your stomach and your mouth. We'll provide you with everything.
I love
what you drink. Yes, it's gonna take place, but make sure you buy the ticket in advance. We don't want it to happen like it happened last time. People came on the door, and we budgeted for the seating. We had a lot of people standing. We don't want that to happen. We are doing it as professionals. So please make sure you buy your ticket in advance. Ozangatalipo bonsaba bantu
Talking of people who showed up at the door. Actually, I came on the same. Like I didn't. Okay, I reserved, but so just kind of funny. Anyway, yeah. So I guess, gentlemen, welcome again to this wonderful program for today. One of the themes we're looking at today is, of course, our theme for today is A Phiri Anabwela. And I guess many people may not understand what it is that we're talking about when you say A Phiri Anabwela. We can just kind of give a brief kind of. There's this song that was done by, I believe, Pitch and Kazembe, right? Yeah. Yes. So this song talks about this man who went and I think in Zimbabwe and stayed for many years without investment, any form of investment, communication with the family, the parents in particular, and also as he was coming back home, he found that the village was no more. There was no house where he could lay. He had no investment whatsoever, and he was stranded. So we just kind of try to borrow that kind of idea and feed it into the today's theme. My apologies. I just forgot on one thing also. So we have ZNBS team, Zambia National Building Society, who are in this country. Actually, one of the things they're trying to do is to create an opportunity for us to invest back home, so that we shouldn't really be yes, exactly. So that's our theme for today. Why there's a need for us to invest back home, and why that is very critical. And of course, we're also going to dive into some challenges that we face, which I believe many of us are having those kind of things happening. So with that being said, maybe let's just dive straight into our icebreaker question. What's the worst investment have you ever made? So I'll go, Mr. Henry.
What is there?
What is the worst investments have you ever made? Whether you have any emotional, whether it's material, financial, any form of investment that you think, okay, this one was a flop.
That's a good question, huh? The worst investment I've ever made. Yeah, but we should upon an investment.
But Henry, bring it back home, please.
What is the worst investment I've never made? Jesus, hallelujah.
Icebreaker question.
The worst investment I've ever made was to jump into the stock market where I didn't understand. So what I was just doing, I just heard people talking about investing in the stock market, and you make money without having the full knowledge. I asked her, what do? You open you say, oh, you just open an account and then you put money, then you start buying. And without having the knowledge how it works, because I heard people talking, oh, there is money. I went and I bought what I didn't know. Mm-hmm. And to my surprise, when it started going down, I found I had zero thing in there. So I said, what wrong did I do? So that was the worst thing, but it also made me grow, and it also made me to go and study about the stock market and how to invest. That was the worst thing I did, investing without knowledge.
Wow. Actually, that's a very good point. Investment without knowledge. Sometimes we do that. And which, Dr. Sama.
And when he says investment without knowledge, the Bible is very clear when it says, my people die, and my people perish for lack of knowledge. There's a perishing that takes place there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The worst investment for me was buying a Land Rover Discovery 2005 Zambezi Silver. Yeah, didn't want to talk about that. Yeah, didn't want to talk about double sunroof,
Number 5 was this first investment. I'm sure you're happy about it.
No, sir. The day that I got rid of this car, I had to pay someone to buy it off of me. That's how bad of an investment that car was.
Okay. I should pack with you. You have to pay somebody to just. Yes, oh my God. Okay.
What happened was, what do you call it? Maintenance costs are ridiculous for that vehicle.
Hey.
Number 2, I bought when the gas prices surged. So it was costing me heavily on maintenance and on gas. and I was traveling a lot. And so the day I got rid of it, it was one of the happiest financial days I've had and the saddest financial days I've ever had. So yes, that Land Rover. So the second I'm on a Land Rover in Shkumbo.
I had to laugh. It's just so interesting that you had to pay somebody to get rid of it. That's
yes.
Wow. Pastor Ernest, what's the worst investment have you ever made that you think that okay, I'm paying up, like Dr. Musa says, okay, I'm paying up, now we're up here.
Wow. I think you know what? I think I tried to purchase a piece of land in Zambia. I know when those days you just come to the US and the first thing you're trying to think about is trying to secure something back home. And I made all the arrangements not knowing that all my money was just going to go in the drain. So I sent the money and everything, and up to date I haven't seen the land. I'm talking about maybe 15 years ago.
Oh wow.
So I don't think that investment was worth
anything.
Yeah, that's it was terrible.
Which ties into our theme for today, A Phiri Anabwela. That kind of investments. These are some of the challenges we'll be diving into as we go along in the program. I guess on my end, this is so funny. My worst investment actually happened less than a year ago. So I'm sure you guys heard about the demand for soybeans in Zambia. When the government said, okay, they're going to link up the market with China. So everybody went into soybeans, and I was like, you know what? Let me give it a try. So I went to rent this traditional farm. It was like almost 20 hectares. And by 20 hectares, it's a big land, And then because they had so I had to have a tractor. We're coming from far, to clear the land, the bushes. I spent a lot of money actually. So, and then it turned out that, soybeans, we know there was challenges in Fulaka, it was quite late. And then also the people about mama seeds, show grounds, they're too expensive. With this white farmer that does this, get at a half price. So in the mix of trying to save money, such deliver after 3 weeks of not answering our calls. So that was so bad. I was so furious, and I don't feel like
investing without knowledge.
Exactly. You're in the money. So now when I start, I'm like, okay, this one was one of the. Actually, it was the worst of my investments. Yeah. So, and we'll be talking more about some of these things as we move along in the program. I guess one of the things that to start with, maybe we can also look into what is investment. When you say investment, what is it? What do you guys understand of the word investment? Because it's a little bit broad, can be ambiguous. So, anybody want to chime in and just kind of unpack that?
Okay, let me go. Investment, I can simply describe it as putting money in an asset, expecting it to grow for future use for you to live comfortably. That's all I can
okay.
say. You take money, put it putting money in an asset, expecting to grow in value for future use, so that you can live comfortably. Okay. Of course, there are different kind of investment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a very precise.
It's investment, palwachiko.
Yeah, you only complex investment here. So, Clement, I'm going to give the classroom response.
Yes.
Since I'm the classroom guy here. By Henry, an investment is a thing that is it is an act of devoting time, effort, or energy to a particular undertaking with expectation of a worthwhile result.
Wow, that's more scientific.
It actually sums up, I think, what the investment is. Of course, I mean, it ties into Mr. Henry's definition of that. Yeah. So I think from my part, I'll kind of go along what you guys have just mentioned. Investment is, I mean, putting an effort. Whether it's effort means a lot. It can be resources, it can be emotions, anything into an act with the hope of a return. Whether it's basically just that. So. Paisanis, is he here or is he kind of logged out?
I think he logged out. I think he's having trouble with his Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah. So just he's kind of having challenges going in back and forth. And I guess what are some of the challenges we face as a diaspora? Because you see, you guys, Paisanis' point. Sometimes we are swindled by our own families, friends, business partners. In relation to investment, if there is no oversight, particularly from the the owner, there's so many challenges to kind of face. I've heard people bale kulenganda ku Zambia, but ngawatumina pictures betume our neighbor, and this happens from our own relatives. So what are some of the challenges you guys have faced, and what's your take on that?
But Henry, you want to go first? I guess even before we even talk about the challenges, Clement and Henry, I'd like to even just ask the question: is it really, really necessary to invest at home? Because we make the assumption that everybody has to invest at home, but is it necessary?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah, the Bible says invest across borders, so that in times of challenges, when one border is doing good, the other border is not doing good, you secure your investment. So, is it worthwhile to invest in Zambia? I'll say yes and I'll say no, because you cannot invest where you have no interest. If your interest is in Zambia and your interest in America, invest both. But if your interest is only in one particular area, invest there. But it's for the security of your investments, it's better to invest both. That's what I can say.
Wow.
Sponsor I think to what a break to share my sponsor base.
They were going to come, but anyway, yeah. Okay. Maybe let me just respond to that, and then you can just dive into the into our sponsors slot. So I guess for me, I would say, I kind of go along with what's the purpose of your investment? Because sometimes we tend to invest because, like for me, I'll give you an example, you guys. I just shared with you what I went through in regards to the business in sweeping and stuff. I invested because there was an assumption that demand, this would be a very lucrative kind of investment. I didn't have experience. They're just more or less impulsive. But that's not my core, even if in terms of business aspect of it. But I kind of went along with that, and I ended up even losing more. So I guess one of the things we also need to look into is what's my investment for? If your intention is to live here in America forever, what's the whole point of having a house in Zambia? And then if you're family, of course, that's can also be a good thing. We've seen people say, I'll never go back to Africa, but when you're 60 years old, you don't just start doing all this kind of running, and sometimes people choose to go back home, Gawakula, so you find that you may have the intention of not wanting to invest, but along the roads, things change. So that's all I can say.
Wow. And the reason why I asked the question that I did is not to say that I don't think it's necessary. is to challenge this idea of once a kukula mind Zambia, you know, and then you build a house in Kalushi and it's renting for $200 a month, or in Wansha, or, you know, and then you put in a significant amount of money, you know. So are you better putting that money in the stock market or in government bonds, you know, so that there's a greater return, even if it's in Singapore or in other markets, and then you plow that money back into Zambia in different ways? You know what I mean? I think I was approaching it from the idea of almost every Zambian that I hear of Turekula, you know, it's like, you know, it's like, you know, and my father, he so rest in peace. I just lost my father, as you gentlemen are aware. And my dad was one of those people when he moved back to Zambia, after being in the diplomatic corps for a while, he was in a hurry to build, you know, like he felt like he was behind, and he built.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, I sit and question whether that effort, remember, it's an investment of effort, energy, and time. Whether if that money had been put in stocks, where that money would have sat, especially if you remember, cement used to be very expensive in Zambia back in the time before the monopoly broke. So there's a lot of money in these homes, but then when you look at the rentals, it's not as attractive as it can be, you know. And so that's a question I have. I think we need to be creative in the way we think about investment. In buying a life insurance policy is an investment, you know, because if I die, my children will inherit that money, you know. I don't have to have just a house, you know. You know what I mean? And so those are the things I think we should challenge ourselves, gentlemen. So I'm not trying to get ahead of ourselves, but that's where I was coming from. I love Zambia. I want Zambia to grow, but I'm not sure, you know, like building a house there is the best thing for me to do right now, you know, personally. So
if I ask you a question, so for instance, you know, and I'm glad you brought up, you know, the point of, you know, about life insurance policies, which actually could even make you more money than it is in Zambia, you know, maybe stocks, whatever it is. Now, in a situation where you have family back home, for example, maybe your sisters, your brothers, and everything, and then sometimes that Filia, maybe they call you, that's quite a rent, Filia, you know, like, do you think it's a good idea to invest and maybe just to empower the family? I know you gave an example of building a house in Kalurushi. What's the whole point if that house will be giving you 2,000 kwacha a month, and then you spend $40,000 putting into that house? That's a good point also.
Yes.
The question should be, what is a good investment? Where do you put your investment? Because most of the thing we have seen, especially here in the diaspora, among ourselves, wherever you go is I'm building. So now it becomes like building is a big investment we have all been engulfed in, that kukula investment. So our question should be, what kind of investment is building a bad investment? Or opening a business? Or what should you start with? Opening a business, building, or where do you place your money so that it can grow, so that you don't become a Phiri Anabwela? By saying a Phiri Anabwela, it simply means somebody who forget about investment, all they know is today and today. Then when they get old, or if they plan to go back home, they go back home with empty-handed, apart from the iPhone 14 Pro Max, where they'll be taking pictures of the finger bags and everything. So the question is, what is good investment? Where do we invest? How do we prevent ourselves from being a Phiri Anabwela? What onion and tomato, or what ingredients can we put on the table so that we don't become a Phiri Anabwela?
And gentlemen, so Miss Clotilda, our wonderful Houstonite, had this to say: currently, I prefer to put money in government bonds. It is more profitable, you know. And so that's something we should also maybe consider inviting her on the show to speak about how she does that in the future. You know, give that kind of growth for other people. Then we also have a comment here that says, I agree with Doc. It's tricky because the reward is small in Zambia, you know. And I understand, Clement, what you said earlier on. You know, you've got family members and those people that need accommodation. Clement, I will give you $100 right now if you could give me 5 examples where that has worked well.
Wait, say that again. The question again.
I will give you $100.
And I love money.
If you give me 5 examples of your colleagues that you know in the diaspora that have built something and it's been constructive for their family members at home.
Actually, it's been a lot more disastrous than the case, and I guess that's one of the biggest challenges that most people that I've heard about in the diaspora are facing. But before I respond to that, let me just also chime in on the Ms. Kohida's points, in regards to investing in the bonds. Interestingly, I've got a very good friend of mine who works for Bank of Zambia, and his dad is retired. So when he was here, for work, we kind of had a chat. So he told me something very interesting. So his dad is retired, and he had a house in somewhere kuma record kulia kuma nyumba yanga. So he sells the house, and he puts the money in government bonds, and then he lives off of interest, whatever interest he gets, and then he just pays rent. So it's even cheaper for him. He's making more money and it's cheaper. So I was like, wow, this is a very interesting kind of thing, So to your point, and to Mr. Koruda's point, I guess these are some of the things we also need to take advantage of, and glad we have Zambia National Building Society who just came in. By the way, did you guys attend any of the sessions? Because I did, and I had the one-on-one discussion with them. Like, what was your takeaways on that?
What's your question again?
I mean, just a by the way kind of question. Whilst we're on this, did you guys attend any of the Zambia National Building Society's sessions? Because I guess they were in New York and they were in Texas as well, and they were here also.
Yeah, what we're talking about is what they brought to us.
Yes,
like we're discussing about investment. They're encouraging us to invest in, like what my sister Clotilda said, to invest in bonds and in building. They came with a very good package for us in the diaspora, so that we are not swindled like we have been swindled before. That whatever investment we are making, it should be there, and it should not be something putting money in the wash and or wasting your money. They are there to act as a channel to help us invest well and not invest badly. And the question is what are the challenges we face in the diaspora to invest back home? Some of the challenges we face is people lying to you or lying to us that they are doing the investment you have taught them to do, or trusting our relatives to do some business. And we find that there is what we call family tax, inflating the let me call it family tax. So, like when you see the Zambia Building Society, what they have come to help us not to waste money through those channels by them doing it for us. And by them being like a go-between our investment and our money. So they came at the right time, and they came with the right package with the good resources for us to invest with confidence that our money is not going to be lost. Our money is not going to go in soybeans like yours went. That's a very good point. And also, just to kind of coming on that, I think for me, some of the major highlights that I found very, very interesting were that, for instance, if you have lands worth about 50,000 kwacha, right? And then you've got a title and everything, and then you get a loan from them. They're able to kind of give you a loan with the value of your assets to start with. And I think one other thing they may also mention was that they're also able to kind of give you an additional loan for the say your house, you're trying to build a house for maybe 150,000 kwacha. So they're able to kind of give you that additional worth of the house or investment they want to put in a structure. So then I was like, okay, this sounds very interesting, because those of us who are in this country are privileged to a lot more access to dollars as opposed to being in Zambia, So even with the little paycheck that you have, over time, I guess it's something that one can take advantage of. So for me, that was very interesting. And then the other important thing that I also liked about with them, they have
their companies, like these are well reputable companies or institutions that kind of they partner with them that help to bridge all these investments. So nothing is going to go to Mr. Henry's young brother before it goes to the plot, you know. So once you put in that is from them to your investment. So I guess they're more like guarantors for the safety of our investment. Yeah.
Correct.
Gentlemen, we're drawing some wonderful conversations on the side here. You know, Ms. Clotilda again says that, you know, the question is, if something was to happen to you here in the U.S. and you need to go back home, where would you live? You know, I personally am not invested in that. I find that approach of, you know, if something were to happen, I think it's a very Zambian way of looking at life. You know what I mean? I think we've you know, I just had my father sick in Zambia for a long time, you know, and my father put a lot of resources in people, and it's a shame we showed up. So
and that's always the case.
So this artificial idea of thinking that because you back up these people, all of a sudden they'll take care of you, your brothers and sisters. Number one witness, they won't.
Yeah, you know, just to add on Clotilda's question, yeah, we are not saying building a house is a bad investment. It's a good investment, and have knowledge. If it's an investment, you want to know where to build the investment, know where to position a house. If you want it to bring you some return, and it's a good thing for the nation, understand we have a deficit of houses in Zambia, and building houses is needed. That's why we have different kind of places opening up to build houses because of the deficit. Our population compared to the houses which are in Zambia, we have more people, less properties when it comes to home. But so be smart, know where to invest. Ask the Zambia Building Society. They have a good team who are going to guide you. You can't go and build a house in Shangombo worth 2 million kwacha and expect to get a return quickly. No, know where to position your house if you're taking it as an investment. And some of the challenges we face in the diaspora when investing back home is working ethics. Some of the people, the working ethics of lies, you know, with the contractors, the people you contract, especially when you are getting when you are constructing something, you know, we want to empower our own bricklayers, our own people, so that they also have a kind of employment. So that's why we take our brothers who are bricklayers, people in a community, but their working ethics, I'm not saying, oh, some of them, you cry. They're not very professional when dealing with things. They would you find that one person is on different locations and he can't finish the job in time. So our working ethics have to improve. We all have feel bomba ngefe bomba kuno, but uzambe tefe muntu ukalila.
That's why for those of us who are able to travel back home and forth, I think it's also a good, especially if your intent is indeed to invest. I mean, that's just an extra kind of oversight that we can, you know. Anyway, guys, let's maybe just go for a short commercial, and then we can kind of dive into a second half of our event.
My whole life, my father told me stories about moving to the United States. He would tell me that his brother, my Uncle George, was already living here and let my father stay with him for a while. Through my Uncle George, my father was introduced to our cultural organization here in America, who helped him make connections, apply for college, find his first job, and adjust to life in a completely different culture than he was used to. The Cultural Association helped him get started on his new life. My Uncle George would bring my father with him to the annual Summer Cultural Groups Festival, and later, he would bring me. It was incredible to see so many people of all ages laughing and celebrating with food and song and dance. It brought back the best feelings of home and gave my father the opportunity to pass his culture, language, and values on to me. My father and Uncle George were very close. So when George died last year, my father wanted to honor his wishes to be buried with a traditional ceremony back at his birthplace. My father told me that because Uncle George had cultural group life insurance, he was able to afford to bring George home and have the traditional burial George wanted. Though my father had been able to honor my Uncle George's wishes, it got me thinking about my own family. One day, I'd have to make the same arrangements for my own parents, and my wife's parents as well. Of course, we would want to bring them home and honor their wishes, but it would be a financial hardship for our family. There were a lot of things to think about, even though I really didn't want to think about them at all. When my father told me about cultural group life insurance, he told me it's intended to help families when they need it the most. It's not tied to an employer, so no matter where my career takes me, I'll always have coverage. The more people who participate and the younger they are, the more it helps keep the insurance premiums down for the entire association. Because my parents have cultural group term life insurance, there will be money available to help me provide the kind of service I want to give my parents. And by joining, I can put my mind at ease and continue to celebrate our traditions into the future. With cultural group life insurance, I can worry less and spend more of my time celebrating with the people who matter most to me.
Hello, welcome back, gentlemen. Is Pastor still with us, or is kind of just dived out? So
Pastor Ernest has actually been commenting on the side. He said, I think
Okay.
that's paramount. So he's kind of active online.
Okay.
But yes.
And gentlemen, just sometimes because I'm using my phone, so I may be missing some of the comments. So if you come across them, just kind of dive in case I happen to miss one of them. So like Pastor says, I think that's the paramount. The paramount for the majority of us understand that time has changed. Kindly, investment in a home might not be a profitable as investments in government bonds. I personally don't believe remote handled investments in is productive. Actually, that's actually everybody, and everybody is kind of concerned in regards to remote kind of, whether it's business, it's anything that you do.
It's we're dealing with honesty. Honesty is the key.
Mm-hmm.
You can do remotely, but if you're dealing with honest people, and when you look at the setting of our Zambian business, honesty, it's there, but in few.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I guess so. Now this leads into I think we've covered challenges. Change of the status. Sorry, my apologies. So by that we mean there are those of us who may not really have the right papers, the ability to go home and come back and so forth. These are normal. We go through these kind of situations as people come here. So these are some of the challenges, limitations. Many of us can invest and make a follow-up, go home and inspect your projects and everything. So what are some of the things that can be done, especially, if you're in that kind of status where you're confined in America, you can't move, you can't go home, but you got some money that you might potentially want to invest back home?
I'll tell you, it's good. They say, I'll say this, do not invest money where you do not have financial control.
Okay.
When you don't have financial control in a place where you are investing money, don't. Status, people who cannot travel, they don't know what's happening, and people are scared to invest because their status hinders them to travel back and forth to see where they're investing their money. Mm-hmm. That's why when you look at that, that's why the Zambia National Building Society have come and they're saying, we'll be your eyes, we'll do it, we are granting us. So the status challenge is being diluted by these players of the Zambia National Building Society who are saying, use us. We are a reputable institution. We have been there for more than 50 years. So the status challenge is being diluted. Yes, it has been there. A lot of people refuse to invest back home because of their status, because they cannot monitor. They have no control over what is in Zambia than what is over here. So, of course, it is true. Status is a big challenge.
You know, there was a lady, Chitundu Walia Clement, that said earlier on, the other thing, let's gather, put heads together, build huge apartments, hospitals, or private universities, like how other people from other countries do. So then that would be a part of a packaging that allows for those without status, you know, and those that are not certain about what's going on at home, to be able for us to put together packages where we go as a force rather than as individual entities. You know, I think that we might.
That's very good question and point, Chitundu Bwalia.
Hello, you know, just following up quite Chitundu Bwalia's point. So when we met, when our team in the DMV, when we met with the team from National Building Society, as they were doing the presentation, there was a slot where they talked about this land in Chilanga. I don't know if you guys saw about that land. There's a very massive land that's, you know, will be up for sale, you know, to the public soon. I don't know under what company. So, and one of the questions that we pose in the DMVs, if we collectively came, and of course not just us, people in the diaspora, whoever is, say, for argument's sake, maybe there are 400 plots there. Assuming, you know, we to Chitundu Walia's point, we came together and just pick up an apartment complex, the diaspora kind of model, whatever it is, you know. So they say that's something they can actually, you know, they can actually relay that information to us. It's something that they are willing to contact, I think, the company that they're talking about, and how that can work out. But
it's like a gated community.
Yes.
To add on what you're saying, these people, what we are saying here, we are trying to prevent a Phiri Anabwela, so we are touching all over the place. So we are just inseminating knowledge where you can invest on what can. But just to add on what you're saying, it's true. They said they have about 30 hectares of land coming, which they have acquired in Chilanga.
Yes.
And they are willing. They are already doing the network. This is going to be like a gated community where they have roads, green energy. Everything is modern, and the sewer system will be there. Then they will just be selling plots. So they were saying, if you guys, we in the diaspora, like Chitundu Bwalia, we in the diaspora, we can jump on that gated community and get it, so that we can have our own diaspora gated community.
Hello, you know, excuse to appear Anabwela. You can, even if you've got status challenges, you can still bandwagon, right?
It's still there.
Through people, and then even, you know, as you come in as a group, you engage a company, I guess, it kind of also minimizes that risks, you know, so to say. You want to chime in on that?
Yes, you know, and a shout out to Ms. Clotilda. Thank you so much, Ms. Clotilda, for being a very active participant. She's saying there's an organization called Global Cooperative, which is pooling money together. Already 15 million kwacha.
Really?
And towards a big project. So Global Co-op. But Clotilda, is there a website or some kind of contact information for that you don't mind sharing? And so Clement, on a different point, you know, we're talking about investment. I think we need to stop all opening bars, stop all building houses. You know, it's like when you pass through Chibombo or any of those places, all those women sell tomatoes. And I feel like, you know, when you look at the educational history of Zambia, it was based off of a World Bank, you know, paper. You know, it was called Manpower Forecasting, where they pigeonholed us into mining. And I don't think we've been emancipated into that one track. You know, if somebody does this, we do this, right? So I'm sitting in my house right now. I'm going to move slowly by Henry. You ready?
Yes.
We
are ready to film boy.
A Zambian young lady in Ndola painted that art piece for $15.
Wow.
Wow. Wow, it's so beautiful.
When we talk about investment, I think I can make $1,000 with that painting.
Yeah, if not more. Yeah,
if not more. So then, you know what I'm saying? So why are we so busy building? Just, you know what I'm saying? When there's so much capacity for our young people as well. You know, bringing your maps to America, that's investment. Culture, exporting our culture. You know, I'm invited to speak in schools here in America and talk about Zambia, and I'm paid for it. You know, so exporting our culture, that's investment. You know, I think we need to really break out of this bubble of brick and mortar, because yes, you need a house, and when you're 70 years old, you go back someplace. But, you know, maybe we could build a nursing home. I don't even want to go back to a big house. Maybe put me a nice nursing home with other old people in Zambia. I'll enjoy life in Livingston, you know, that you and I have invested in, you know.
Okay, let me throw this understanding. We're talking about investment so that we can have a comfortable future, right? So that we are comfortable. Can we call you people who live here in the diaspora? Can we call Social Security as an investment for we Zambians who are living in the diaspora? Can we call Social Security as an investment because it's something which they pay you when you're old, when you're above 65? So is it worth investing in that? Is it worth it to be paying Social Security tax so that you can be paid back later?
Do we have a choice?
No. You know what? I would actually say yes, it is. You know, and in a sense that, you know, first of all, I guess we should all thanks to the government for introducing the dual citizenship. You know, so by virtue of paying into that as an American, you see what I mean? So that kind of works both ways. So these are some of the opportunities that we may even be taking advantage of. You know, I guess the way it's paid, they kind of deduct from your paycheck, right? Right? Yes or no? Because me, I work for an institution that does not tax me, so I don't know how that Social Security works. You know, like I don't pay taxes. I don't evade. By any means,
You can still pay. Nango bomba you earn, you can still pay. Even if you work for the diplomat, you intend to stay here, there's a way you can be paying taxes so that you secure your Social Security. Let's go.
We'll cross that part when we get there. But I'm just saying that it's a good investment. Again, it comes down to your motive of investment. Like, do you intend to be until you're out to a time when you're 65, or do you want that 45, 50, or 55, go back home and just kind of relax or settle down? I mean, there's some of the things we also need to be looking into. Just going a little bit off of that, you know, those article I come across about this man. I guess you guys saw it on my WhatsApp. I think it was from Ghana. You know, this man that lived in the diaspora for many years, and then he built this mansion, Awela Ghana. And then the house was too big now upstairs, where he's too old to be going more than his master bedroom upstairs. Yes, he can't do that. So now, last resort, alala number per living room, and then one chito eudala master bedroom alala. So you see what I mean? So some of the things also need to be looking into. You know, is it just about building a structure for prestige, or is there what kind of motive?
Yes. You know, just to add on what I said about paying in the Social Security, this might help somebody or it might not help somebody. But listen to me, my dearest viewers and listeners. You know, when you pay in a Social Security, then you retire, you go back home. If you have been paying Social Security and every month they're giving you $3,000 and you are home, that $3,000 will help you to live comfortably. Amano mambulwa, kabili amano mapuli, bapula fie. We have to inseminate the knowledge so that somebody may pick something.
Okay.
I have said if you are giving in Social Security, this side, the life gets difficulty. Maybe you cannot live on $3,000 a month. Go home, stay there. That $3,000 will help you when you're getting it monthly. That is also one of the benefits of paying Social Security rather than getting the whole gross check. It sounds good and it helps now, but will it help then when you haven't invested wisely? Mbango.
Good question.
Everybody.
Anyway, guys, we're kind of running late with time. I guess maybe we'll just dive into another question, which is actually very critical for us all, for many of us. So how does cross intermarriages affect our investments? Because you see, if my wife is from Ghana, from Ivory Coast, or American, and then I want to build, I would love to build a house home. In fact, I'm working on that. And then my wife says, but I don't want to live in Zambia. We got to build a house here. Or we have to build a house in Ghana or something like that. Like, how does that kind of affect us investments? Because kuna choices and
That's very true, and I'm a very good example. But it's a tinge of my details.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. Just share whatever you can.
Now you put Spanish. So, please pardon my language. I'm more taken by my vernacular language, but please forgive me.
It's okay. That's the whole point. Yeah.
It's genetically inborn in me. I can't do well with Bemba. He's so sweet. He's so tangibly sweet when I'm speaking it, and I love it. Just to say, what I'm saying may help somebody. And I'm speaking and I'm teaching myself too. When I married this Spanish, every time I want to invest in something in Zambia, she told me, why are you going to invest in Zambia? Invest here where you are. You can't invest there. So who are you investing for? Do you have another person you are eyeing in Zambia? That's why you are investing there. So it was a challenge. I had to open a different account where the money should be coming. So now if investment, you are not investing together, it becomes a hiding thing, because this person thinks you are there, you are used there. You are not investing in my country. You are investing in your country. So why don't we invest here? So it becomes a challenge when it comes to investing when you have intermarriage with somebody from a different thing. But one thing I can tell you, Zambia is so sweet. The mistake we make, take your spouse to Zambia. Let he or she experience the Zambian environment and see the beauty of Zambia and how sweet our people are. And you see the way our people are, they are so sweet that even if you are a visitor, when they greet you, they so what you do, welcome those people to the custom of Zambia, then start investment. But when you just start investing without these people knowing where you're coming from, mistake number one. Bingo.
And we have a couple of comments here. Now I can't see them on my phone here.
I got you, Clement. It says,
thank you.
Pastor Ernest says, I would advise that you both consider building here where you're settled. Yes, he says, I advise that you consider building.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. And I think there's another point from Clotilda.
Yeah, there she goes. She said, actually, she was going to call us out on the language. Too much Bemba going on here. Mr. Moderator, you have failed our non-Bemba speaking audience today.
Sweetheart Clotilda, apologize. I'll try to work on it.
I will now wish to counter Clotilda. Sometimes, there's something about English just spice much Bemba like by any balanda, so it comes out with that punchy kind of meaning, So I can do that as a good point, but as we make points, at least to touch our mind for. There could be some of our friends from Malawi or Zimbabwe, Abale Tamba, because like that song about Phiri Anabwela, I think it was coming from Harare, and then I've seen a number of my Malawian friends loving it because they know Zimbabwe, so sometimes they may not understand what say, but just have to kind of make sure that we incorporate our words well so that they understand as we make that emphasis on Chivemba, So Dr. Msoma, about cross-cultural marriages.
In terms of cross-cultural marriages, my comment would be this. I think if you're discussing the idea of investing at home after you're already married, then maybe you didn't do your premarital counseling. The Bible talks about having a clear vision. I think if you're going into an interracial marriage, some of the conversations that you should have are about where you want to be planted as a human being. And making sure that the person that you do marry is not only married to you, the person, but they're married to you, the mission and the vision, and so, if you're telling the lady after you're already married that I want to do something, maybe it's too late. I think we need to be more visionary in really, when you meet that young lady, to say, no, I have intentions of doing this. And I'll speak for my marriage, my marriage, which I was in, my spouse, I give her full credit. She never once questioned my investing at home.
Wow.
She was American.
She's American?
Zero. Yes, zero. She never questioned. So full credit.
Okay, Kamatira, she's American.
Hello, we're almost running out of time, guys. Maybe just add on that, and then maybe we can wrap up. So, I guess to your point, Dr. Msoma, one of the things we feel about people, from the onset, if you're getting into this, these are some of the challenges we face. Even just sending money to your relatives, even $100, you'd be questioned, But as such, you just do, by Henry's point, you just open an alternative, route, highway, so that you can fulfill your thing. But I guess it comes down to communication and setting your expectations from the onset, I guess maybe with time, maybe we can just kind of just close up on, though we've kind of put in the Zambian National Building Society's, themes. So maybe you guys want to chime in on that? Like any last few points on that? I know we've touched.
While I've crossed oceans to live and work here, my roots in Zambia remain unshaken. Owning a house there deepens my bond to home. As I establish my career in this foreign land, my heart yearns to see a thriving and developing Zambia. When the heart yearns, ZNBS is there to bridge the distance. Their offerings make it simple, the benefits unparalleled. In them, I found a trusted partner. I'm not just investing money or building a house, I'm building a legacy. Join me. Let's invest. Let's build with ZNBS.
The ZNBS Diaspora Mortgage, designed exclusively for Zambians abroad. Begin your investment journey at www.znbs.co.zm. With ZNBS, it's possible to build, buy, and renovate your dream home.
All right, guys, we are almost running out of time. I don't know about Director Ngabala. I was just going to throw in one last 1 minute kind of question. Do you guys want to chime in? On the Zambian National Building Societies. Anything you want to add before we wrap up?
My dear viewers, my brothers and sisters, in conclusion, we are here encouraging each one of us, each other. We are trying to combine our head and pump logic in one another by encouraging each other to invest, because investment helps to navigate the future. We don't want any one of us to become a Phiri Anabwela. Our opportunity, time is now, it's not tomorrow. While we still have energy, what you know and what I know are different. By sharing, you may come to learn one or two things. That's why here at Insaka, Chisaka Chamano is a source of knowledge. We don't claim to know it all, and we don't claim to be the cream. We are just knowledge sharing platform. So here is the situation. The Zambia Building Society is helping us to understand how you can invest in two different things. So we are also a medium in which we can communicate. We are also helping ourselves and you, the viewers, that there are so many ways you can invest. We are all at a different segment of education and understanding. So by sharing, you may pick one or two things which you know or which you don't know, and save your future, and don't become a Phiri Anabwela. We want all of you to be safe in Jesus' name.
Dr. Mkoma.
In closing, I think I'd say, some people are so poor, all they have is money. Some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Wow. Okay.
And so as we think about investment, I think we should come up with maybe a triangle, a mental triangle that is 3 parts, and it's equilateral. And one part is intellectual, one part is spiritual, and one part is emotional. That we should invest in our intellect, we should invest in our spirituality, and we should also invest in our emotions. Just as much as we should budget our money, we should budget our emotions, and we should budget our intellect. It's super, super critical. I think there's such an overemphasis on the making of money, but God gave us all different gifts. Not everybody's supposed to be a millionaire. Not everybody's supposed to be a doctor. Not everybody's supposed to be a nurse. Whatever it is that you find strength in, whatever it is that is your gift, the scripture says your gift will make room for you.
Oh, hallelujah.
So let that gift make room for you. Like the young lady who's the artist with the art behind me, I hope that, her art, expands and grows. So please invest, not just in money and buildings, but invest in yourself, in your heart, and in your spirituality. Thank you.
Perfect point, Dr. Msoma. I think what I would also add on to what you guys have just mentioned is that, first of all, you need to know the purpose of your investment. I don't know, anyone one of you guys gave an example about those people who sell tomato at Kapili Mponshi, like you find maybe like there are 50 of them. Any one of them can sell something different there. They can sell chickens, they'll make money. So what do I mean? Don't just invest because everybody's doing it. Mm-hmm. Invest where your passion is, mm-hmm. where your ability is. Like somebody said, should you bite more than you can chew? Something like that. There's a saying, something like that.
You can bite more than you can chew.
Yeah, exactly. So if you think your investment and your American wife is worthwhile here, you have to raise kids here and retire here, then investing back home would be an option. If it's a priority, regardless of your status, how you are and everything here, now it's coming to light that there's that opportunity for us to invest without our money not being swindled through very legitimate, entities like the Zambia National Building Society and all these, private companies and so on and so forth, and also looking into the bonds, which is one of the safest ways of also investing. So there's so many ways. So don't just build a house because everybody's building a house in Zambia. You can put your money in your bonds. Trust me, after 10 years, you go back home, you're going to buy off all those houses people were building 10 years ago, So anyway, I end here. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for this wonderful time.
Pastor Ernest had a comment. Sorry, we don't want to leave our brother out. He wasn't, he had a comment. Do you mind?
Okay.
So, yes, please read the comment.
Oh, okay, so last tip from me, invest also in people.
It depends with your department.
I'm not going to ask you that question.
People, you have been so great. Clotilda, we love you. Uliabwalia, we love you guys. You energize us. Thank you so much. Our viewers, you are the best.
And you know what? Lastly, guys, I guess we should also start pulling in some of these, people who are active on our show. Just kind of bring them as a guest, even just for 2-3 minutes. Some of these shows moving on forward. I guess that would be nice also.
It will. We'll do that, please. And
we'll bring you. And
this topic is so broad that we're coming back again with more, because we have so many questions which have gone unanswered. So this was just a tip of an iceberg. We shall continue. Thank bye.
Thank you so much to our viewers. Thank you for your participation and your comments. Like Usaini says, we're going to build up off of what we've left today, because there's so much that was lined up that we didn't get through. So please have a wonderful time and enjoy your time. Thank you.